I'm taking the strap. I'm strapped up.
What's happening? What was that about?
Let's make the fight happen. We strapped the fuck up.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 251 of the Strap Season podcast. I'm your boy Kam.
I'm your boy Flowz.
And as always, guys, you know the drill by now. Please head over to our Instagram page, which is Strap Season Podcast, or our Twitter page, which is Strap Season Pod. There's a link in the bio on both those pages, and that will take you to where we're situated at streaming-wise. So if you like your audio, the usual suspects are there, like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, all those links are there. And if you like the visuals, then we also have the YouTube page there as well. So whatever you fancy, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you're into more of the short form content, we've been quite active, I think, with the TikTok drops and like the Instagram reels and the YouTube shorts. So yeah, just to give you a flavor of what we're about. But yeah, Flowz, how are you, mate? We've got another episode, big episode today to talk about.
Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. Yeah, like I said, quite a lot of fights that went down this weekend. And well, fights that didn't go down. We're gonna discuss it all. As you know, we don't hold back on this pod. We have certain favorites, but anyone can get it, right? Anyone can get dunked on, right, Flowz? That's our motto over here.
Yeah.
Let's take it day by day like we normally do. So we'll start with the UK. Fabio Wardley versus Justice. Is it Justice Huni? Honey?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Huni because Honey sounds a bit. Yeah, Justice Huni. As you know, this is meant to be Wardley versus Miller, but Miller had to pull out due to an injury. So, with about 7 weeks' notice, Huni came in. Is he Australian or is he New Zealander? I can't remember which one he is.
From them sides, anyway. One of the two.
Let me check. Because let me do some justice. Because Flowz deserves it. I can't lie. I think he's from New Zealand, but okay, no, he's Australian. Okay, first.
Okay.
Yeah, Australian heavyweight, undefeated, 26 years old, decent amateur background. Obviously, anyone against Wardley is gonna have a better amateur background than him. But yeah, bro, I didn't really know what to expect. I thought we mentioned last week that we saw Huni up against Lorena. It wasn't really a performance that spoke volumes about him or why that's at all. So honestly, I was kind of expecting to see the usual Wardley, slugfest, and then he takes his opponent out. Let me just preface this by saying this first and foremost, Flowz. I think we said it before in this pod. Anytime Fabio Wardley's in action, I'm locked the hell in. I am locked in. I think Fabio Wardley is one of the most entertaining fighters to watch in the UK. In fact, damn near the world right now at this point, bro. I can't even lie. Mad entertaining every single time. And the reason I say that, bro, is because with Wardley, you're gonna see him struggle sometimes, damn near get beat up in times, or get hit and get hurt before he activates. But you're gonna see explosive punching as well, and probably an explosive stoppage. And this was no different. Bro, after this performance, I'm seeing Americans call Wardley the UK Deontay Wilder. And we're going to discuss, but no, first, we're going to discuss whether or not that actually has any validity and truth to it. Because watching that fight, bro, Justice Huni, up until when it got stopped, I think, was it the 8th round when it got stopped?
10th. Yeah,
bro.
10th
up
round.
Until the 10th round, bro, Justice Huni was beating the brakes off Wardley. So much so, bro, that I'm looking at Huni thinking, where have I been? This guy is sick. Well, I tell you, bro, that there's moments in that fight where I got up and I was applauding Huni's work. I'm seeing, bro, slipping punches, counter shots, combos rattled off, footwork. I'm there thinking, is Huni this cold? Or is this because it's just Wardley? And Wardley is just such a bad boxer. Because you've spoken before about how we've seen actually Wardley have a good boxing performance against Adelaide. And again, we question whether was that Wardley learning or was it the fact that Adelaide was just so bad. But I'm not joking, bro. Huni was killing Wardley in there. Outboxing him, outlanding him, hurting him from what I could see.
Yeah.
And Wardley was like, I think this is the most I've ever seen him struggle, ever. Bro, he was struggling in there, man. I thought Huni was a brilliant performance from Huni. I thought he was killing Wardley in there. So much so that I was starting to check and put myself, let me go back and watch the rest of these Huni guys fight because he's looking ridiculous in there. He's looking unreal. So yeah, Flowz, what did you make of it? Because obviously we'll get to the stoppage and whatnot, but how impressed were you with Huni? Or do you think it was Huni being good or Wardley just being bad?
See, Wardley, yeah, we spoke about it for years now, and maybe recent performances have excused us from our early sentiments of Wardley. When we watched Wardley Molina, and we're seeing Molina tagging him, piecing him up,
Yep.
and we're thinking you're meant to be one of the cold up-and-coming prospects, Wardley. What the hell is this? And finished Eric Maurilio.
So what the hell?
And it's when he's getting buzzed that Wardley activates, is what we usually see. Round one, he's losing. Round two, he's losing. Then it's starting to get political and then he stops the person. I feel like 2-3 times in a row. Was it Molina?
Gorman.
Gorman.
Gorman was piecing them up. Yep.
But there was also a few where I always accused him of his opponents of diving. I think Molina was one, and there was another one.
You said Molina definitely could dive. Yeah.
Lighty, maybe.
Lighty, yes, Lighty.
I think it was Lighty, yeah. So I was thinking, I don't really rate this Woodley guy. But gradually, he's won us over with the entertainment of all these fights.
Yeah.
In all his career, in all the fights I've watched, there's one fight where I could credit his boxing ability, and that was the David Adelaide one.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, we can say what we want, but he's fought worse opponents than David Adelaide and been pieced up.
Yeah.
So again, Huni, I wasn't even too sure if this is just Woodley being the usual Woodley getting pieced up by someone. But this happens to be someone who's fairly competent and is piecing them up. And so it's hard to tell if
it is hard to tell
what Woodley's boxing ability is actually like. It's very hard to tell because he's got an equalizer behind him. It looks like.
Yeah,
it's fair to say. So yeah, it was. I can't over credit Huni because once again I haven't seen enough of Huni, but I've seen enough of Woodley to that I can't dish out credit for outboxing a Woodley. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is part of it. This is why I say he's one of the most entertaining fighters out there today because, again, he's prone to being hit. He's prone to losing rounds and getting pieced up. But that equal, and I guess it's, cool. You can call it the Deontay Wilder syndrome. It's what made Wilder so entertaining as well. The fact that Wilder could lose the fight or lose majority of the fight, and for 1 second he's perfect, and boom, he has the equalizer. And I don't know if you saw in the build-up, Wardley, just before the fight, very eerily, damn near predicted the outcome of his fight in terms of how he literally said in the statement, you have to be perfect for all this time. He literally took the Deontay Wilder line and said, you have to be perfect for all the X amount of rounds. I just need 1 second, and I will, once I land, it's over for you. And that is literally what happened. Like I said, Huni to me was boxing with a swagger. He was almost, I feel like he was loving it in there, bro. Treating Wardley. Bro, it was actually, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I mean, I could, but I didn't realize that Huni would look this competent against him.
Yeah.
He was treating the hell out of him, bro. And winning the exchanges, landing 4 or 5 shots in a row, swiveling out, good footwork, little bounce to his work. I'm pretty sure he was full, I got this. And even though they say you shouldn't trade with someone like Wardley because obviously he carries that power, because he had so much confidence in his work, bro, I don't think Huni was even worried about getting tagged like that much, really, because he was opening up. He was opening up. And to be fair, his shots looked heavy enough to push Wardley back and almost hurt Wardley a few times. I feel like
he was hurting him.
He was hurting Wardley, yeah.
He was.
So I'm there thinking like, rah, this guy is cold. This guy looks cold. And then obviously we see him in the 10th round, bro. He opens up, as he's been doing the whole night. They both exchange at the same time. Wardley times it better, lands a big shot, drops him. And obviously the crowd's going crazy. Ipswich crowd's going, because don't forget, this is a hometown performance as well from Wardley. So again, more credit to Huni for coming into Ipswich and performing like the way he did. But obviously he's been dropped. And I'm there thinking, oh no, because obviously I know the finisher Wardley is. So I'm seeing that, okay, it's quite a heavy shot, but he can get up, try and get up. Obviously he hasn't made the count, bro. And the referee's called it. And that's that. But up until that point, I'm there thinking like, you are such good value for this win. You have 2 more rounds to go. Try and see it through, and you should take this. Well, unless there's no robbery or whatever. Because, yeah, I thought it was so comprehensive how many rounds up he was. I did see some comments about the count, bro. People saying it was fast. But if we actually look at when he went down to when the referee waved it off, it actually was 10, 11 seconds. So I just don't think people realized that obviously they were counted when he went down. So obviously referees had to push Wardley away to go in that direction. But obviously they're counting whilst on the outside whilst the guy went down. So I had no issues with the stoppage personally. To be honest, if it was allowed to continue, I think Wardley would have gone to finish him. As we know, Wardley is a terrific finisher. But
how long was left in the round?
There was still I think about a minute. I think.
Yeah, I think it was a long time left in the round.
It was still about a minute.
Yeah,
Wardley would have finished him.
Yeah.
I'm so sure about that.
Yeah, well, it's obviously it's hard to say, but the chances are without how he went down, because he did get up.
He did get up.
The ref, as he got up, the ref decided it was like the 10 point, and the ref usually if you get up at 9.5, you get waved off.
Yeah.
I did think it was pretty fast.
At first I did, bro, but then check the time when he went down, and then to when the referee went.
Yeah, because it's once again, it's not about seconds, is it? It's about the count. So you can have a 10 count which lasts 15 seconds, for example.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure when he went down, bro, you could hear them. Obviously they got the count outside as well. So the referees joined in the count from like 4 or something like that.
I think it was 6.
Maybe 6.
Because he pushed Wardley to go back.
He had to push Wardley that way. Yeah. So the referees joined. I think obviously because people were seeing the 6 from 6, 7. They're thinking, bro. Yeah. But it's because they were counting from the outside. That's why. Yeah. Yeah,
he picked up from 6, but then it was at 6, 7, 8, 9. So he had the full. Yeah. So I don't have too much complaints. It's you have faster counts, you have slower counts. It's never more time is never a huge factor, really. There's some we've seen some rapid ones. More time. You're looking at I'm looking at the fighter and who he was gonna go. It's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Who he was gonna get.
He had gotten up, but he was stumbling, kind of thing. Yeah. So I will say this though. If it was on the other foot, it was Wardley that went down. Yeah. They're allowing him to continue. Let's be real. Let's be real. The hometown fake ball, they're letting it go on. But I feel like even though it was fair, I thought like obviously just due to how it was going, they were happy. The ref was quick to be like, all right, cool. All right, it's over. It's done. Let's wrap it up there. Yeah. Because, bro, Huni was good value for that win, bro. I think I gave him pretty much every round. Maybe I gave Wardley maybe 1 or 2 rounds. But for the most part, Huni was, to me, he was treating Wardley in there. Absolutely.
All 3 judges had Huni up. All 3 judges had him ahead.
Bro, he was treating him.
Comfortably.
He was treating him. This is the worst. This is the most I've seen Wardley be treated. In my opinion. Like, Fraser Clark was back and forth. Was close. Yeah. But to me, this was a landslide in Huni's favour. I'll be so real.
Yeah. It's because usually Wardley's getting treated for 2-3 rounds before he
he's able to activate.
He activates and switches against
and the thing is, in this fight, he tried. There was one round where he tried and he was going for it. But then Huni just responded and put him back in his place. So, yeah, man. I want to see more of Huni, man. It was good. It was a good performance from him. I think he should take all. I think his stock has risen from this.
Yeah,
definitely.
The thing is, as well, because I wasn't too familiar, I saw Frank Smith say he's gonna bet 10 grand on Huni.
Wait,
Square. Yeah, he was like
he's Matchroom, isn't he? He is Matchroom, I think. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, no, he made a bet that he was coming. If Huni loses, he'll come in and serve teas in a main outfit. Right. That's how confident he is in Huni with it. I was like, fair. I thought, okay, you're just selling the fight, whatever. Or maybe you don't rate Wardley too tough. But you can see what they see in Huni.
Yeah,
Really, you can
facts,
see
facts,
you
100%, facts,
understand
facts.
because
Yeah,
Huni was washing him.
yeah,
So yeah, I weren't too familiar with him. I've seen him one time against Lorena. I didn't really
yeah. Didn't really
think too
rate him.
much
Yeah,
because Lorena's Lorena. But yeah, he has something. He has something for sure.
there's.
It's a
I think
shame
there's
that
something there. Yeah.
yeah, he went out like that, but he impressed.
And I guess you can also give credit to Wardley. Obviously, he found it. He always seems to find it.
Mm,
Every time a chip seems to be down against him, like I remember against Fraser Clark, the one we went to, there were times where he looked in a terrible, terrible way, and just the dog, he found something just to turn the tide in his favor or equalize and whatnot. So he always seems to find it. But I think this is another example, bro, of how he has serious vulnerabilities, Fabio. And obviously, we know he hasn't got the same background as these other fighters in the heavyweight division, white collar background. So he's got zero amateur experience like that per se, which is even credit to him that he's gotten so far. But I feel like don't forget, we can't forget Wardley is now on the cusp of like, I swear, title shots or no, being made
yeah.
like mandatories and all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
So he's remember he's exited British level. He's above European level. He's above now. He's fight. Now he's at this level. So the worry for me, bro, is obviously it's taken him very far right now, and it's been a very entertaining journey so far, and I'm enjoying it. Like I said, I would tune into every Fabio Wardley fight. But as we said many times in this pod, there's levels to this game, and once he starts to get fights against, let's say the Caballeros and whatnot, it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna go well for him. I'll be so real. I don't think it's gonna go well for him. And I'm not sure how much he can improve boxing wise. He did say, this is one of the worst he's boxed. He can box a lot better than this. He did. I was listening to his interview. He said he can box.
He
He
says
said
that
he
every
can
fight.
box. But I was going to say that was deja vu to me. He says that every single fight. So I don't know how much. I don't think he's going to improve much, bro. So not to say it's like the level of Babbage. Remember we said Babbage's style is only going to take him so far, and eventually he's going to run into
Yeah,
people who I think it's the same with Wardley, obviously to a higher level, higher degree, but I don't see him, beating any of the real top brass in the heavyweight division personally. But is he bloody entertaining? And will I tune in for every single fight? Facts, bro. Facts. I'm a Wardley fan. I like watching Wardley, bro. It's super entertaining.
yeah. Look, they're all from, like you say, we mentioned that in Babbage. They're all from the same camp with Dylan White.
Yep.
The sparring monsters is
Yep.
what I'm
Yep.
going to
Yeah.
call them.
15 round beast. Yeah. Doghouse sessions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They all go full out inspiring. The way they
Yeah.
fight, they don't box essentially.
Yeah.
They're not boxers. They go in there and fight,
The
take heads off.
scrappers. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're from that camp. So yeah, let's see how far this can actually take him. How far I can go with it. All I know is that every fight's going to be. You can't ever write off a Woodley now,
Nah. Dude,
because he does have that dog in him.
he's the UK Deontay Wilder. Is there credence to that, do you think, or are you not going that far?
And I think there is, in the sense
Similarities,
that,
right? Yeah.
yeah, the fighter he's repeatedly been pieced up, comes out with a win.
Equalizer.
Lost more rounds
Yeah.
than, well, maybe it's hard to say that with Woody because he stops people so early, but um, in fact, Molina, he was down for me. I don't care how long he lasted. He knew he was losing. But yeah, I think there's somebody who can get outboxed, pieced up, and then
Mm-hmm.
fight can be over with a shot from the gods, or
Yeah.
you could turn the tide of the fight by just switching and
One big
activating.
shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, and he's given us some bloody brilliant KOs at the
Bro.
minute because that was an
Bro.
unbelievable KO. That one.
To
Folded him.
find that when you were down, getting pieced up all fight was just, And it was a great, like I said, the crowd went crazy. Adam Smith went crazy on comms. It was an amazing KO for sure. Like, I was there saying this guy is so entertaining to watch. Hats off though, because So shout out to him, man. It was a good, good KO for sure.
Stopped every one of his opponents.
Yep.
Obviously, Fraser Clark draw, but then he ended up killing him. That dead is
Killing
still
him.
there in Fraser Clark's head. That dead is still there.
Yikes. Yeah, man.
yeah.
And Huni, hopefully comes again. He was very respectful gentleman afterwards. I want to see more of him. If what I saw was true, he can definitely come again and be a fixture in his division. He's 26, he's young enough. So yeah, stick around, Huni. I want to see a bit more. Cool. Let's segue over to America Flows. Norfolk, to be precise. Now, this was meant to be the first defense of Keyshawn Davis, the businessman. The businessman, someone that we like a lot on this pod. Against Edwin Dos Santos, an opponent we've seen before, a tricky opponent that Shakur Stevenson fought. Might be last year or the year before that. So yeah, looking forward to this fight. We said last week that this could potentially be a tricky opponent for him, but one he should come through. And you will see what's next. But he wants to put on the show for his hometown crowd. Sold out, I think, at the time in Norfolk. Yeah. So leading up to the fight now, we see that on weigh-in day, Keyshawn has missed weight and therefore been stripped of the WBO. I think it's WBO. Is it like WBO he got or is it IBF? Might be IBF. I don't know. Sure. One of the belts. He's been stripped of the belt, and the only person eligible to win the belt would be De Los Santos. And it turns out Keyshawn was 4 pounds over. I first saw that and I thought, rah. 4 pounds is a lot, boy. Said it before. When I see something like 4 pounds, I'm like, did you even try? Because 4 pounds is a lot. Now, I understand that Keyshawn is very big at the weight. We've said it before. He's a weight body, really and truly. He's about 5'10". So I know that, obviously, the moment I saw that, I said, okay, cool. He's definitely going to move up now after this fight. He's way too big for the weight anyways. Well. He said it, yeah. They've asked him, are you going to try and they've given the opportunity to get the weight off. He said, nah, I'm too big. I'm too big at the weight. Can't do it. It is what it is. So, now, obviously, let's call a spade, bro. It is unprofessional. But, obviously, you might give allowances based on the fact that, he generally is tight at the weight. And it's no surprise to me. But 4 pounds, like I said, there's a lot. Now, following on from this, I think it was then broken shortly afterwards. The fight was meant to go ahead. But then the news broke that the fight now is being cancelled. And I'm seeing a excerpt from De Los Santos' promoter about why the fight was cancelled. They said that they kind of renegotiated to be there being like a £10 limit or leeway, £10 leeway, I think. But after seeing Keyshawn's attitude on the scales, how he apparently was on the scales laughing and joking and smiling, didn't really care about the weight, blah, blah. They felt like it was just not worth it, too much of a potential risk to De Los Santos' career. And that's why they decided to call off the fight. They didn't want to go ahead with it. And again, I think this made me think of, I guess, just unprofessionalism, I guess, to it overall. Obviously, if Keyshawn's there laughing and joking, that kind of gives an unprofessional sort of manner, like he didn't really care. But it's more the optics of this, bro. Think about it. Hometown fight. You've got the crowd out to come and see you. You're the headliner. So you're meant to be put on a show for your peoples. Headline show. I'm hearing about certain celebrities coming out to see you. I think they said Shaq was there. Some other people have come all bought tickets to come and see him. You're meant to be put on the show for your peoples. And the fact that you've not done that due to unprofessionalism on the scales, it kind of leaves a bad taste in the mouth. Pause. It's it doesn't look good, I think, optically. So yeah, that's the critique I've got to throw at Keyshawn, man. I get it, you're tight at the weight, but could you have done a better job in trying to make what you can at least? Maybe shown a bit of professionalism, maybe? I think so. But yeah, unfortunately, that led to the main event being Dula Mason versus Nakafelia. And we're now seeing, before, I think they showed a graphic of how before, when Keyshawn was a headliner, it was damn near a sellout. And obviously afterwards, it wasn't because bare people got their refunds and whatnot. So yeah, it was kind of like I don't think Top Rank would be too happy about that. It's just in terms of what happened on the scales. But it's a shame that we didn't get to see that fight, bro. And that's the way that Keyshawn's reign at 135 pounds had to end. Bit of a shame. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the whole weight issue and, him just showing that bit of unprofessionalism at the time?
Yeah, so I've been locked in with Keyshawn Davis. Every fight week, every interview,
Yep,
I've
I
said I'm
know.
going to be there because he's pure entertainment. Now, this is the bad side of being that type of character. Now, look, this ain't the first time. We've let him off the hook before, where he popped, they
Weed.
popped him for weed, marijuana,
Yeah. Hmm.
and he got a fine and a ban for that. Or was it a
Yeah.
ban?
It
It's
was a
almost a
little,
slap on the
little,
wrist.
little ban in the fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think, yeah. So he had that. He apologized for that. Said he would do better. Said he's changed. Now it comes to this, and you were talking crud. You're there trying to press Dilla at the press conference.
Hmm.
Yeah, we talk about that. Press Dilla at the press conference, talking smoky, saying you're going to do this and that, calling out Teofimo, all of that, and you're not even there making weight.
Hmm.
So this is now 2 strikes on your name because
Hmm.
the
Oh.
marijuana one is crazy, and missing weight by 4 pounds also crazy.
Hmm.
And in fact, I was listening to SOG's podcast, Andre Ward with
Hmm.
Keyshawn Davis.
Hmm.
My man said this was the weed incident. He done it before. This was the second or third time he's done it on fight week, and this is
Yeah.
the first time he's been caught.
Hmm.
So you've been on serious for time. You've
Yeah.
been on serious for that. You're doing it on fight week. Andre Ward couldn't believe his ears on fight week. He said, yeah, he's done it twice, 2 or 3 times before, and this is the only time he got caught. So now he's learned his lesson. So to me, optically now, I'm investing a lot in Keyshawn. I've said he's the truth, he's this and that.
Hmm.
But when you're doing this, remember when you're on strike two, strike three's coming after soon. We're
Sounds
gonna do that
insane.
strike three. I'm thinking, wow, okay, maybe I'll let you off the hook. I don't want you put you in Jared Anderson just yet, but but
Mm.
well, yeah, I don't know. Let's discuss.
It shows there's a lot of maturing to do still in him, which we already know clearly a lot of maturing to do.
Yeah,
So the De Los Santos fight is not happening no more. Done. Big shame for De Los Santos. He's been out for what, 2 years or no, year and a
yeah,
half, going through all that camp and stuff. He himself looked flipping tight at the weight, but yeah,
yeah.
only for the fight not to go ahead. So headline is now Dula Mason versus Nakafrelia. Dula Mason doing his thing, standard, another stoppage on his resume. Great fight, absolutely killed Nakafrelia. The kid just looks so special, man. But I've had my stocks in him from a very early age, so yeah, man, I'm happy that he's flying. And to be honest, bro, I think it's now that Keyshawn's out the way. I say out the way, Keyshawn's obviously going to move up, and that's him. I won't be surprised now if they're going to make Dula fight for that vacant title with someone, and Dula Mason will possibly be a champion by the end of this year. You mentioned the pressing thing. Yeah, at the press conference, we saw Dula Mason. I guess Keyshawn stick it on him. And
Mm.
look, man, Dulla's a young buck, man. He's still an innocent kid, man. He he can't go to the mental fortitude games of Keyshawn, man. So yeah, Keyshawn was onto him saying, yeah, you try and fight. I'm trying to fight you next, kind of thing. Let's do it now. Afterwards, once you take care of your opponent, I'm here. And I think Dulla, he wasn't on the same energy or smoke as Keyshawn.
Yeah,
But I'm
yeah,
allowed, bro. He's a young buck, man. He's
yeah,
fresh face. He ain't even got a beard yet or nothing. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Dulla's just conducts himself with respect that I guess he's going. Obviously, he's not one to talk smoky right now. So yeah, Keyshawn might have won that little war of the words, but Dulla will see. They'll see each other. They'll see each other eventually. Not right now though. They'll see each other eventually. But yeah, Dulla, just keep on doing what you're doing. Don't your parents will be like, don't join bad gang. Don't follow
Yeah.
Keyshawn in his footsteps. You do you. You stay over there and do you.
Yeah.
Um,
Look,
there you go.
he had the last laugh. It looks like now.
Yep,
He
yep.
really
Had a
did.
last laugh. Because let's talk about what happened with Keyshawn's night weren't done. He weren't fighting, but he still, threw some hands because let's talk about Keyshawn and his brothers and altercation that we witnessed.
DB3.
Strike three. So Kelvin, because obviously on Keyshawn's card, it's always him and his brothers fighting. Kelvin was fighting. He was fighting actually an old Keyshawn opponent in Nahir Albright. Wu. They call him Wu, I think. Yeah, Wu Albright. And this is at 140 pounds. And Nahir Albright has killed Kelvin. Smoked him. Absolutely smoked him. Cooked him. Hurt him a bunch of times in front of the Norfolk, the hometown crowd. Wu has won. Big upset, right? We can't forget that this Albright guy, remember, he fought Keyshawn. And I think they gave it to Keyshawn originally, but then remember, it got ruled a no contest. Do you know why it got ruled a no contest in the end? I can't remember.
That was because of the weed. That was why.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, right,
because of the weed. Yeah.
Do you remember that fight, bro? Albright gave Keyshawn hell.
Yep.
That was probably Keyshawn's worst. So Albright gave Keyshawn hell, probably one of his worst performances. So Albright is good, clearly, like he's good, and he killed Kelvin, absolutely killed him. So we then received news. Actually, I saw the clip first. You sent it to me, but then I'm seeing the news come through about how Keyshawn and his brother Keon got into altercation and got into a scrap with Albright after Albright beat Kelvin. And it turns out how the story goes, listening to what Albright was saying in his interview, obviously he's celebrating the win in his changing room, and Keyshawn and his brother Keon come into the changing room, and they're all aggy and angry and whatever. And an altercation's occurred where Keyshawn has gripped up Albright and headbutted him, and next thing we know, fists are flying and whatnot, and people need to break them up. So it sounds like out of anger for their brother losing, the other two brothers, Keyshawn included, have gone to try and press Albright and try to piece him up post-fight, looking like sore losers, basically, to me. And again, if this is what has transpired, and for what we can see in the video, that is what's transpired, bro, it's bloody shameful. We have to crash it at Keyshawn. I'm so sorry. He's your boy. We have to crash it, bro. Flipping shameful. Flipping shameful.
The whole night sounds like a huge L, man, because even that, I've seen clips of him in the arena, eating, laughing and smiling, like eating popcorn or something, and I'm like, brother, you're just not serious. Then I hear this, and then I see a little clip of a backstage altercation of him going crazy, and his young child is in the mix of it.
Yep.
I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, you're up and coming, you're meant to be an investment for people. People are going to be looking at you sideways for real now. Look, we don't know what happened in the changing room. We don't know what happened in the lockers in terms of the altercation. I was seeing that Albright got jumped by these guys, but I was like, how are you going to get jumped in your own dressing room with your whole team? That couldn't have happened. There's no way two man jumped you and your team were there watching. But we don't know what happened. There seems to be an altercation, but it's not a good look for Keyshawn. And this might very well be strike three because it's crazy. It's crazy. Your bro lost and you're moving like that.
That's a get back in blood.
Look, at first I find it funny, like, yeah, they were riders, but
right, come on, bro. Yeah, let's be much optically, bro. It's not a good look for them, their brand. Don't forget, this is hometown. They're meant to set an example, and he hasn't been able to fight due to his unprofessionalism. Now we see him causing altercations in the backstage after the fights have happened. It's like, it's not a good look at all. Top Rank or Bob might not be too happy about this. We'll see. But yeah, man, I think a big L for him overall for the night. Like, I feel like De Los Santos, the people were saying, their fight against De Los Santos was a great opportunity for him to really show that he's the next star up. Because his contemporary in the division, his boy Shakur, struggled against De Los Santos. Or not struggled, but didn't have a good performance. So I was even saying, I feel like last week when I said I feel like Keyshawn should try and make a statement by stopping De Los Santos if he can, just to show that, I'm the next one up here in this 135 pound position. Talk about me. It's not just about Shakur and Tank, but I'm announcing myself. And I feel like he missed a big opportunity with that one, bro. Especially as it was a sellout hometown crowd. They would have gone crazy for him. Celebs would be there in attendance and whatnot. It was a really good opportunity for him to grow his star. And instead, He gave Dylan Mason the limelight. He's the one looking professional. He's the one people are talking about. And he's there fighting backstage, not in the ring. So, yeah, a bad look for Keyshawn, man.
It's giving me the vibes we used to see from the PBC.
PBC.
Look.
Yep.
Like the Bruners,
Yep.
the Charlos, all them man.
Tank. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
all them man. All those
Spence.
antics.
Spence.
Yeah, Spence.
All drunk.
All drunk, causing mayhem,
Yeah,
just
man.
misbehaving. Now it's seeming like that's carried over to the Jared Andersons, the Keyshawn Davises.
Hey.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm
I don't know
not
what
gonna
them man
say
are.
what demographic of people. I'm not.
Chill. Yeah, look, it's not a good
Hey,
look. It's not a good look at all. Like, just focus on boxing, man.
bro, that's it.
There's
That's
an
what we want.
opportunity here, man. There's a
Mhm.
big opportunity here for legacy,
Oh
for
God.
yeah. There's just a huge opportunity there, and you've got the talent to achieve it. And look,
Thanks.
people have been calling Keyshawn for time from his loss to Cruz in the Olympics where he was talking to the camera, flexing.
Yep.
People ain't forgot about that. People
Dancing.
still dance and Cruz dancing in the background. They ain't forgot about that. Now you're doing really on fight week. You're fighting backstage. You're missing weight. It's looking crazy, Keyshawn.
Yeah.
And yeah, look, you're gonna lose support that way, and you're gonna
Yeah.
end up being a villain that way.
Word.
It's on
Word.
you.
I agree, man. But yeah, big up Dilla Basin. Like I said, each and every way. Always big up Dilla. Keyshawn do better, but we can't ignore it. We now have a new face of 140 pounds. Obviously, we knew he was going to move up anyways. So yeah, let's see how he fares at 140 pounds. As we said, all roads lead to 140 anyways, really and truly.
Mhm.
Everyone's going to move up eventually. So that's another one to deal with. And I look forward to Dullah announcing himself at 135 with a title, maybe. Shakur needs to hurry up and move up, to be honest, at 135. I don't think there's anything there for him, unless he's still trying to get the tank fight, but we know that's not going to happen. But yeah, man. Well done, Keyshawn. Congratulations. Yeah, we'll see what happens next. Cool. Um, let's talk about another fight. We rate, bro, and that is Mr. Jao Opetaia. He did his usual thing over in Australia today against a guy called Claudio Squeo. I don't know why this Squeo guy is making me laugh, bro, because I don't think I've ever seen a 5'9" cruiserweight before in my life. bro was short, bro. Bro, he's 5'9".
Yeah, crazy.
But I would give credit to Square. He didn't run
Mm.
away. He was
He
throwing.
did.
He was trying to, he was trying to throw. He was brave. He actually was brave in there. But it was never gonna happen for him. Let's be real. I think Jai Patai took the first round off just to pre. Then afterwards he got to work. Got straight to work. And even though Square was quite live in exchanges and trying to fight on the inside, quality, class, and heavy punches always going to win Jai Patai the fight. And I think from round 3, Square was starting to get overwhelmed. And 4 and 5, I think he closed the show in 5. You know how we said Jai Patai is someone that throws every single punch with mean intentions, throws every punch like he wants to get you out of there. It was evident again today, bro. It's ended in the 5th peach of a hook. And from what we could tell, bro, from what I could see the reports were saying, he broke Square's jaw.
Yeah.
So that's it, really. Cracked him with a shot. Square went down immediately. He immediately grabbed his jaw, and he was on one knee. I think he could, bro. He could have, if he wanted to, he could have beat the count.
Yeah,
But
he didn't want.
he didn't want
Chose
to.
not to.
That jaw, he felt that jaw and said, "Nah, it's over. It's done." So yeah,
Yeah.
man. Opetaia marches on. I'm seeing a lot of critique though. People in his last couple of opponents, Opetaia's, and I hear the critique, but I don't actually think it's Opetaia's fault, bro. I don't think these guys want to fight him. Simple as. I think he's been
In
trying.
terms of opponents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They're saying this is the last of these type of opponents that he should fight. There's actually better cruiserweights out there that he can fight better than this level. I truly don't think a lot of these guys want to fight Opetaia, bro. obviously we know who we want to see him fight, and I think it has to be next. Or I think Zerdo might have a defense coming up, but then afterwards it has to be unification with Zerdo. Because there's no other fight that makes sense in the cruiserweight division. Opetaia watches everyone else, bro. So it's pointless. But yeah, I don't think guys are itching to fight Jai. I'll be so real in the cruiserweight division. It's not a strong division as it is, anyways. So to me, it's only Zerdo left. Even Jack.
Yeah.
Jack's got the other belt, but I don't think Jack wants to fight Jai. And it's the fight I'm not really interested in because Jai's gonna wash Badu. As much as, Badu's my guy and I've been a Badu Jack fan for years, Jai's gonna kill him. So yeah, man, it has to be Zerdo next, right? That's it, really.
Yeah, look, what's it called? I saw Jai Opetaia saying he heard his jaw snap, he heard his jaw go.
He's so
Yeah,
he's so mean. He's so
he heard
mean.
it as soon as it happened, and he was like, "Yeah, it's a wrap." So we knew what he's on. We knew it was going to be a stoppage. Look, I don't know. I hear the critique, but I don't hear it because for time the cruiserweight division ain't been great. Is the truth. It's never been stacked with a huge amount of talent. There's only ever 4 or 5 names really.
Yeah.
So yeah, it has to be Zerdo next. I don't think Jai's ducking. I don't think Zerdo's ducking either. I know
No.
he's got a fight lined up this month. Yeah.
Yeah.
So after that, we have His Excellency in the mix now. So fights get made.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I want to see: Zerdo, Opetaia, and then Jack Vidal Riley. And then yeah, these men, some of them can move up to heavyweight if they need to. Some of them can do what they want, whatever.
Yeah. I think
But those are the
Opetaia
fights
does
I
want
need.
to. Yeah. I think Opetaia does want to go for cruiserweight. I mean, sorry, for undisputed. And I don't really care per se because unlike when Usyk did it, the division isn't as strong when Usyk compared to when Usyk was in it, where it actually was a very strong division.
Yeah.
But to me, cruiserweight undisputed doesn't hold as much weight to there. However, I can't understand why he should do it because ultimately he needs to wait out guys like Usyk. Even though I would love to see Usyk versus Opetaia,
Mm.
I understand him maybe waiting to wait for Usyk to bounce before he moves up to heavyweight just to further his chances. So yeah, maybe sticking around to become undisputed is the way for him. But definitely the Zerdo fight is the money fight for the division. It's the big one for the division. It's the one we all want to see. Those are the 2 clear best in the division. So yeah, hopefully they make it happen next, man. But he's gonna keep on doing what he keeps on doing, bro. Anyone they put in front of him that it probably isn't Zerdo, he's gonna break their face. Simple as really. So yeah, shout out to Jai Opetaia. Let's talk about another knockout artist, bro. In Japan, we also had the unification and the bantamweight division. It was Junto Nakatani versus Ryusuke Nishida. Don't know anything about Nishida, but I know this was his. I think he won the title a couple fights ago, so obviously his unification with Nakatani, and this fight was hilarious to me, bro, because Nakatani, I think from early, Nishida is someone who's got 10 fights and 2 KOs, 2 KOs on his resume in 10 fights. I thought Nakatani clocked from round 1 that this guy can't hurt me. So I'm just going to open up and try and get him out of there as quick as I can. I'm seeing Nakatani spam up 4 or 5 uppercuts in a row consistently, bro. It was so funny to me. Spamming uppercuts, spamming hooks, just everything to get this guy out of there. And it paid off in the end because for some reason Nishida was brave and decided to try and have a firefight with Nakatani. And Nakatani is one of the hardest hitters in these lower weight classes. So it was never going to go well for him. And Nakatani was able to get this guy out of there in 6. I think he retired on this stool. So yeah, another good performance from Nakatani. He looked strong in there. Looks a bit wild at times. But I think it's because he didn't rate this guy's power whatsoever. So he knew he can just throw spam shots and he can get him out of there. He hits hard, man. He does hit very hard. Look, man, for me,
You know what we want to see?
it's two names for Nakatani. It's simple. It's 2 names. It's either going to be Bam or it's going to be Inoue. One of those 2. That's it. I think obviously most people want to see the Inoue fight because big for Japan and whatnot. But we can't sleep on the Bam Nakatani fight either, bro. That's also good. That's also a solid fight to make. So yeah, man. I hope he fights both of them at some point. But if I have a preference for who I want to see first, probably the Inoue fight because I know it's bombs away from both of them. Someone's getting knocked out. But the Bam Rodriguez fight also seriously intrigues me. So those are the two names I want to see next to the Nakatani. Next up when we see who he's fighting, Bam or Inoue. That's it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But bro, that rounds up the action for the weekend. Let's talk about what we have upcoming next week because there is a fight to talk about. A pod favorite, Mr. George Kambosos versus Richardson Hitchens. He's challenging Richardson Hitchens for the 140-pound title. Yeah, man. And in true George Kambosos fashion, I guess the build-up's been quite entertaining between both of these guys. Hitchens himself is someone that tends to like bite the needle and play into things. Good fight in the 140-pound division, right, Flowz?
Yeah, definitely a good fight. Well, yeah, we'll say the fight weeks this week, so we'll see what the build-up's looking like. But the announcement, on Twitter, someone's undefeated. Kambosos doesn't lose a notification on Twitter. And yeah, look, he takes up these big fights. It's another tough fight he's taken up against, a real, legit competitor or champion now, even. So yeah, good fight.
He loses.
Yeah.
He
Of
loses.
course. Yeah. Well. To be fair, he just looks focused. From what I've seen, he seems focused. I've seen him in camp. To be fair, even in other focus, he should still win.
Kambosos is strong against boxers, as in supreme boxers. Devin Haney, Lomachenko. Hitchens is a very good boxer. Put it simply, very, very good boxer. When he woke up against my man, Paro couldn't touch him, really. And I'd like to say Paro is probably better than Kambosos. Obviously, anything can happen on the day. We've seen Kambosos shock the cop, but same again. Kambosos struggled against Maxi Hughes, who's also a good boxer. Do you know what I mean? So Hitchens has all the tools in his favor. Much bigger, longer, better boxer, better IQ, in my opinion. I think that Kambosos has got good hand speed, but I think Hitchens should have enough to. I'm intrigued to see if Hitchens again starts slow like he did against Paro, or we get onto him from early. We'll see. I suspect he'll probably start cautious, but probably warm up to the fight. But yeah, Hitchens, I rate his boxing ability and his IQ, so I think he takes this. But it should. I think it can be an entertaining fight. Kambosos always comes to fight, right? He doesn't sort of lie down. He comes forward, tries to set the pace. So it should be an entertaining fight. But I expect Hitchens to dispatch him nicely. He says he's going to do it in a better fashion than Devin Haney. We'll see. But yeah, good fight, man. Good fight. On undercard, we've also got Andy Cruz as well, by the way, bro. He's in the title, final eliminator for the IBF title at 135.
Yeah. Hey, look, hopefully Andy Cruz wins. Might as well make. I don't know if we'll see it, Keyshawn versus Andy Cruz.
Not now.
At any point, I don't think we'll see. Maybe it's hard to say.
I thought we could see it one day. Yeah.
The way Keyshawn's talking, it's like he has no interest in it at all, which is strange. But yeah, obviously keeping eyes on both of their careers, of course. Yeah.
Cool, bro. Before we sign off, bro, I don't know if you want to talk about some duck soup that we apparently saw this week.
Yeah, we're gonna have to, right? We have to. Yeah, crazy.
Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, who allegedly they were in. We saw the news that they were in discussions apparently to make a fight.
Fuck, depleted. We damn near.
Yeah, that's what we saw. We then see a stream of tweets. Another guy that's undefeated on Twitter, by the way, Devin Haney. He's very active on Twitter. Devin's always very smoky on Twitter, but it's funny because he doesn't really match his persona in real life. It's hilarious to me. He's very softly spoken in real life. You know that.
Doesn't translate, yeah.
It doesn't at all. But he's mad smoky on Twitter. Apparently he's out there looking for guys, trying to run up on guys. Devin, we don't believe you, bro. But yeah, we then see a stream of tweets from Devin Haney talk about how Teofimo, he signed his side for the fight day that was meant to happen. but Teofimo didn't sign, and him and his camp have actually pulled out. We then see Bill Haney show a snippet of an email, allegedly saying that, oh yeah, Teofimo's team decided not to take the fight and they're pulling out on negotiations. So obviously it's a bit like, damn, Teofimo, what's going on? Obviously, I've called specifically for Devin versus Teo. I've been trying to see that fight for a minute.
Years.
And credit to Devin, to be honest. One thing I will give, he generally doesn't duck anyone. He tries to fight everyone. I don't think he should be even fighting Teofimo right now because he fights scared at the moment. But fair play to him. But it's looking like on that side of things, Teofimo and his camp are the ones pulling out. Now, Teofimo has been moving weird for a hot minute now. We've said it before in this pod. I've actually tried not to touch upon it because it's annoying. But recently, I think he got into some issues with Turkey, didn't he? I can't even remember what he did, but yeah.
I think that's part of the ducking. I've deep.
Yeah.
He tried. I think he started. What did he say? He tweeted something about Turkey, saying accusing him of something. Was it like he's a dictator or something?
Yeah.
Something like that. Something along those lines. And Turkey didn't really respond too tough. I was like, now you're coming for the guy who's putting up the money for the fight. It's like you don't want to fight.
Biting the hand that feeds you. Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like you're trying to. It just felt odd. And all the negotiations were agreed for this. So everything was in place. They agreed to everything. Yeah. It was just time to sign, and then you pull out. It seemed like he didn't want to fight for it at all. Why would you agree to everything, waste everyone's time, come for the guys, pull up the money, and then pull out? Yeah,
Devin's also claimed that, remember, he's also claimed that one of the reasons why they pulled out is because they didn't want to fight at 147. But
they agreed to 145.
But they agreed to 145. They agreed to do this fight at the catch weight at 145.
Yeah.
And it was also very hypocritical because Teofimo, who has he been calling out for a hot minute now? He's been trying to fight Boots at 147 apparently. So the fact that he had an issue with 147 and made this fight happen at 145, again, smells very, very fishy to me. But again, Teofimo has been moving very, very strange for a hot minute now. And yeah, I don't know what he's on, but he's moving silly. He's moving like a bozo. So I don't know what he's on, but he needs to be careful, bro, because Teofimo sometimes talks and acts like he's a mega draw and mega star. And I feel like compared to his peers, he doesn't even bring that much in compared to these men. So he needs to be careful not to bite the hand that feeds him. Turkey's the one, as you said, putting up the money for all these fights and getting him and putting him on for these big fights. And yeah, he might be alienating himself from the people that actually are trying to help him. So yeah, he needs to be careful, man. And, I don't know what he's on, but yeah.
He went to Eddie Reynoso's camp, got kicked out of there. This was meant to be a career high payday.
Yep.
Squandered that. Yeah, I don't know what he's on. He's a weirdo.
He's a weirdo.
Yeah, look, I'm happy for. Look, it's a shame that he's talented, but I'm happy for him to just be completely blackballed. He was just wasting everyone's time.
I agree. No, I agree. I'm
happy for everyone to say we're not working with this kid anymore. Get him out of here. Slandering everyone, being a clown.
Left top ranking, bad fashion as well. Like, yeah, man,
he's a legit idiot. Legit idiot. So yeah, whatever. But yeah, moving on. Look, let's end on a high. Lomachenko, great career.
Yes, we have to talk about Lomachenko.
Let's end on that.
Retirement for Loma, freeweight world champion. Honestly, bro, in my opinion, I think he should be a first ballot Hall of Famer if he comes eligible. And for me, one of the most skilled boxers I've ever seen in a boxing ring. I can happily say that, in my opinion. Might even say he might be top 3 I've ever seen, skill-wise, in the boxing ring. He's been superb, man. And I saw a lot of people say, he lost to all the big name fighters, blah, 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 blah. I will shoot him bail because, yes, he lost to Devin and Lomachenko, and Teofimo. Both those fights you can say were contentious and very close, especially the Devin Haney fight. However, I shoot him bail because this man should not have been fighting anywhere near 135 pounds. I said it before. Lomachenko shouldn't be. He's punching. In fact, Lomachenko has punched above his weight for the majority of his career. Majority of his career, he's punched above his weight. And the only reason he was at 135 is because he was so good that a 130-pound division, a 126-pound division, a 120 division couldn't handle him because he was so skilled and so much better than everyone else. We can't forget, when he was in his lower weight classes, bro, he was legit. They were calling him what? Lomachenko. He was legit. He made like 4 opponents in a row quit on their stool. Like, legit. So that's the only reason he actually ended up at, a 35-pound division, because he was so good. And even then, at 135 pounds, he was still killing most man and giving the bona fide guys hell. So that's why I will shoot him Bell in the fact that, yeah, cool, he might have lost to. We can't forget, this is the man that fought for a world title in his second fight. Do you know how nuts that is? Like, yeah, so look, man, definitely first ballot Hall of Famer for me, bro, and one of the best technicians I've seen in the ring. Hope he goes and enjoys his retirement. Simple.
Yeah, look, this is a guy who lit up the amateur scene. What's it? 2 Olympic gold medals, how many world championships?
Yeah, 396 amateur wins, 1 loss. Let's put that out there.
Yeah, insane. Insane amateur career. Look, you could even say his pro career didn't live up to the amateur career, but that is because he was punching way above his weight.
Yeah.
And he's an example of why I say I don't like people going up too many weights, because you end up not getting the credit you deserve fully. Fully. He was in there 126, 130 pounder fighting people who could campaign at 147.
Yeah.
The Salida lost. What weight did Salida come into that ring at? He came in huge.
Yeah.
Didn't make weight, didn't bother to make weight, came in with the fact that I ain't making any weight. I'm gonna be as big as possible.
There's no way he came in thinking, I can't lose to this guy. I'm just gonna blow everything up. Yeah. Crazy.
And that's what he was up against for his whole career. Lost close fights. Yeah, lost close fights to bigger people who he shouldn't have been in the ring with. Yeah, huge talent, and yeah, great example of how a boxer should conduct himself. He brought a lot of eyes to the sport as well, Lomachenko. He brought a lot of eyes. People knew his name instantly.
I think he made people respect technical skills more as well, if you know what I mean. Like, he really he shed a lot of light on that game in terms of how important footwork is, how important angles are, So I will always appreciate him from that. And one of the most, like I said, beautiful boxers to watch, especially with the angles thing. And I feel like he really put people on with that. Obviously, he's been in boxing for a long time, but the way he was doing it and the fluidity had people in awe, man. Like, yeah, man, so brilliant to watch on his day.
Yeah, for sure. I grew up on the era where you go on YouTube and watch clips of fighters. Yeah, and he was almost the last. Him and Mayweather was there, but he was the most recent fighter that you do that with, where you go on and watch clips of people. Being evasive, skillful.
There's only a few people I've done that for, bro, and he was 100% one of them. 100% done. Yeah, for sure. They call it the Matrix for a reason, bro. Like it's nuts. So yeah, man. Sail off into the sunset. I feel like his career probably didn't end the way he wanted it to. So I know he was chasing 1 or 2 big fights. I know he really wanted the Devin Haney rematch, for example. But he ended his career as a champion. So we can say that. I think he had the IBF belt at 135 pounds. So yeah, he won. He got his last win. Who's the last win? Cambozo, no?
Yeah. Should have seen Shakur, but maybe he didn't want to go out on a nail. So yeah,
he didn't want to go out on a nail. That was so yeah. But yeah, he got a nice little win last, and great career, man. So hats off to Loma, man. Big fan. Big fan.
Hats off to Tank as well. He ducked that man. He ducked that man till he retired. 7 years ducking.
We said early when Tank, there was being discussed. We said Tank is not fighting this boy. They're gonna wait Loma out until he's old. In fact, I'm even surprised they let him retire without fighting him. Because really and truly, bro, did we not say it from early on this pod?
Yeah.
That the Tank lot are going to wait out Loma until he slows down or gets old. And then if they do fight him, that's when they'll fight him. They didn't even do that, bro. They actually let this guy go. Fully retired. Every year, same excuse. Loma has to wait for Tank. Tank needs to fight him yet. Tank will fight him when he wants to. This, that. First, they never actually made that fight, Hilarious.
Crazy.
Yeah, big win for Loma, big win for Tank. All right, cool. Let's wrap it up there, Flowz. Great episode. This is episode 251 of Strategies and Podcast. Once again, your boy Kam.
Boy Flowz.
And as always, you know where to find us on the streaming platform, people. Peace.
I'm taking a strap. I'm strapped up.
What was that about?
Let's make the fight happen. We strapped the fuck up.